Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about the customizer in this video. Okay, so go ahead and go to your dashboard, and I want you to go ahead and follow along with me. Okay, so along here on your dashboard, you get to your customizer by going to Appearance. Let that you're not actually going to click on that. You're just going to let it come out, and then hit Customize. Okay, so the customizer is what globally controls the entire website. This is where most likely if you're trying to edit something and you can't figure out how to edit it, it's probably in the customizer. That's just kind of a rule of thumb. So the customizer is globally going to control things like button colors, font styles, pretty much colors across the entire website. It's going to control the header, the menus, the footer, and general layouts. So it's very powerful. It's really where the backbone of the website is, okay? There's not a whole lot that we want you to change in here because we already have the template built a certain way, but you do need to know how to change fonts and colors, okay? So that's what I'm going to show you here. I'm not going to show you how to change the stack. The stack is not important. Neither is the icon, neither is layout and design. Don't need to know that either. So let's go to typography. Okay, so you have the freedom here. You're going to get the freedom to change the font to what you want it to be, okay? Mainly, this is only for if you don't like what's on there, okay? Now, we don't want you changing it to something that's crazy looking. This has got to look very good, okay? So I'm going to show you just some like 2 or 3 fonts that you can use. If you find something else, okay, but really we don't want anything that's super crazy. So some of these are pretty crazy. All right, so it's currently set on Roboto. The other font that we can use if you want is Railway. And this is automatically going to change these heading fonts. Okay, you see that? Change the heading font right there. So Railway looks pretty good. We like that one. You can do Ubuntu, just down here in the U's, the regular one, Ubuntu. Okay, so you can use that one if you like. You can use, going back up here, we're going to look at Lato. Okay, so there's Lato. This will change that. All right. And I believe there's one more. Let's see here. Oh, Hind. There it is. And Hind. Okay, so as you can tell, like these aren't super crazy looking, but they do give you a little bit of, you can change it up a little bit, okay? Now, if you notice that this was under the headings font, you also can change the body font, which was up here a little bit further. So you hit the body font first and then the heading font. So the heading font controls all the titles, okay? All the titles across the site, that's the heading. The body font is right through here. So if I wanted to change this to, again, we're only going to stick to those texts that I just showed you. I'm not going to go through it again. However, there's one that we can add. So all the ones I just said, plus Open Sans. We can also use Open Sans. As you'll notice, this will change that. Okay, you see that? Just notice it just changed that over. So those are really the only things that we're gonna allow. If you get special permission, yeah, go ahead and change that. But we don't really want you messing with too much of it. In fact, if you don't even want to mess with it, don't mess with it. The template's going to look fine just the way it is. Okay, so let's go. We can click this arrow here to go back to the main menu. So that does it for typography. Let's go to buttons. This is what you're going to need to know. So you have the freedom. You're going to pick the color scheme. It's going to be set at orange to begin with. Know that when you're choosing a color scheme, these buttons are always going to need to be something that stands out. We cannot have a gray button, okay? Look at this. This is going to fall right into the background. That's not even going to stick out. We need something that's really going to stick out, okay? So that's why we have it on orange right now. Let's say, you could do a red, a bright red. You could do a pink if it's something like a floral shop or something a little bit more on the feminine side. You can use a blue. Basically anything that's, I don't like that. Always try to pick something that's a little bit more, we don't want like bright neon colors, like something that's a little bit more less in your face, but still is going to pop. You see that? That kind of pops a little bit. We do not want colors that look like, see if I can find one that Like, we don't want a color that looks like this. That's just ugly, okay? We want more of a, we want more of a dull color, but it will pop on a white background, okay? Boom, right? See how that's kind of more of a dull color? Okay, we just don't want those bright, nasty ones. There's a difference between being bright and bright and nasty versus something that's going to stand out. Okay, so the orange that we have right here, it's not super bright, but it does stand out. See, like it just looks okay. Okay, that's like super vague. I know. Just whenever you're doing this, just play it safe. Okay. Now you're going to change the button background and also the border background. So find something that you like. Let's say we wanted to change this one over to a blue. Okay, so I'm going to change this to, let's see what that looks like now. I want this to be a little bit more of a sky blue. Okay, so I'm changing the color scheme for this entire site right now. So, okay, once I did that, I'm going to click inside here. I'm going to Command C, copy, and I want the, if you notice like the border right here, it's orange, that's gross. We want that to be the same matching color as the above. Okay, now that changed that over perfectly. Now if you notice it's lighting up orange. That's because we have the hover colors down here. Now for the hover color, you want this to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to actually paste this in again, so it's going to get that blue. But now I'm going to drag this inside of the same box, and I'm going to go down to something darker. Okay, boom. And I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to paste. Whoops. So now when I hover over, it's going to do that. Pretty, right? Okay, cool. So the next thing to do is we have to change the site links. If you notice, this is still orange up here. All right, so these are the menu links. To edit that, I'm going to go to header. The header is what controls all of this stuff up in here. Don't change really anything. You can change the font again. So we're going to get to the logo here in a second, but the navbar font, I can change this. So if we change that to, what did we change that to? I think Hind. So I might want that to match. So I can go up and I'm going to go to Hind, and this will change the font that's in there. Okay, there we go. Boom, changed it. Now it's a little bit small, actually. To increase the size of that, I can just go right here, navbar font size, and I'm going to type in 14. See if that grows it. I want it just to be, you know, I want it to be a little bit darker too. So you're able to edit the colors here. We want this to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to go to navbar links, color, okay, and then the links hover needs to match this. So I'm going to go back in here. I still have this thing copied to my clipboard. I'm going to highlight that, Command V, paste it on, and whoops, this has actually got the hover color. So I need to go back to my button. I need to grab the button background. I'm going to double click, Command C, go back to my header, go on down to here, and I'm going to make that links hover match the button color. Boom. So anytime we hover over a link now, it's going to make that color. Pretty cool, right? See if we can find anything down here. There is no link on the home page, so we can't show you. Okay, next thing, the logo. We're going to show you how to make a logo, and this is where you're going to eventually go in and change it. This will be inside of your customizer, inside of the header, and you'd go here, change the image, and then upload it. And we'll have a whole other training for that. And then you're going to figure out where to align it and so forth. Just giving you kind of a basic understanding of what that is. All right, so let's go back to the main menu, the footer. This is where you would go in and type in the company's name, city, state abbreviation. This is their address, okay? This is what's listed down in here. So make sure that this gets inserted in correctly, okay? You will be given this information. And if not, then we'll have someone that goes in there for you that does that, okay? There's nothing else on here that we want you to edit. Okie dokie, the rest of this. The only other thing that you're really going to need to know is menus. So let's say we wanted to add in another menu item across here, say a blog. There's a footer menu and a header menu. There's two menus. Normally we can duplicate them, but since there's a button in the header, we don't want the button to be in the footer too, so we had to create a totally separate menu and have one without the button. So the header menu, you click on that, you could go in here. If I wanted to add in a blog, I could go to add items. Now this would be a page that's already created, but I haven't even created it yet. Normally I could just hit that this add button and then it's going to automatically add it to the menu, but since we don't have that yet, it doesn't even exist. Okay, so let's just pretend that's a blog page. All right, now what I could do is, that's going to add it right back in here. Okay, we've got some custom CSS going on here. If you ever add another item along here, okay, this is very important. The button always needs to be on the far right side. So to change that, we're going to grab this and drag it. See how it just evened it out again? We have custom CSS written for this button. If you put the link beyond that, it's going to screw up the CSS. So it's got to go before it. Plus, we want the call to action button to be on the far right because that's where the eye is automatically going to go. Okay, so I'm going to delete this because it doesn't actually need to exist. Okay, now that pretty much does it actually. So we're not going to discuss any deeper complexities of the customizer. Go ahead and hit save and publish. And now let's go ahead and view what this looks like. So let me grab this. I'm going to open this in a new tab. It's lagging a little bit. Ooh, got the spinner of death. Okay, so now this whole site will have now moved over to blue. So I hit save and publish. And there we go. See? Everything's all updated and live. Okay, so that pretty much does it for the customizer. Again, anything that you need to edit globally is going to be in that customizer. You can also get that. There's going to be a dashboard thing that comes down along the top on all of your pages. You can also get to the customizer from here. So if you're coming through here, you're like, oh, I don't want to go all the way back to my WordPress dashboard. You can just go ahead and click this, and then that's going to open you up inside the customizer. Pretty cool, right? All right, well, that pretty much does it for the customizer. I'm going to go ahead and end this training here, and we're going to talk about Cornerstone in the next couple of videos. All right, talk to you then.